Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. 1M by 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. And in support of that mission, we do these free mentoring roundtables every week. It started way back in 2008, even before the 1M by 1M program was launched. And this is the 662nd session. So we've had an immense opportunity to work with entrepreneurs from all over the world, and it literally is all over the world. So it's been fascinating to listen to what's happening in all different corners of the world and work with people in all different corners of the world. Today, we're going to start our session with a conversation with Cohen, who's been here before, general partner at Viola Ventures. We've had at least, I think, 1 or 2 conversations already. This conversation today is going to be focused on AI, which is dominating the popular consciousness in terms of technology. But when we think about it from startups perspective, from investment perspective, from venture capital perspective, the point of view is different. So we are trying to understand what are the possibilities, what are people investing in, what do people want to invest in, and so on. So Danny, welcome. It's great to have you back. Let's start with some general kind of overview of how you're thinking about AI.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, it's great to be here again. And I remember when you started in 2008, and you haven't changed a bit. And yeah, I mean, so great. I think AI is the point of topic for everyone at this point. I mean, everything and everyone is AI, and what is not AI is not interesting, right? So I think every single pitch that we hear has some sort of an AI component to it.
Yeah.
I think AI is the good news. It's going to revolutionize a lot of things, both on the business application, on consumer application, on infrastructure, almost everything. That's the good news. So it's a huge opportunity for disruption, and that's always a great way to create innovations and make money. I think the challenge is who are going to be the winners, what is going to win, where to invest, how to do that. I think that's one of the toughest I've seen in the past recent years, for sure.
Now, how do you segment the types of opportunities, and which ones of those are you focusing on from your fund?
Yeah, sure. So I think at this point, the big winners so far have been the technology players, right? Technology infrastructure, the foundation models, tons of dollars thrown into those. Some huge companies were built in a very, very short time, and those that got those foundation models early on have already made a lot of money, or at least a lot of money on paper. I think for us, our fund, to say, is a $250 million fund based out of Israel. And on one hand, we look for innovation and technology innovation. So we look things with the technological edge. But I think it's very hard for us at this point to play on the infrastructure side. And based on that, what we're spending all of our time is to think about how AI is going to change the application layer, how the huge infrastructure that is being built by the big tech companies, how that can be leveraged into creating new applications. And then basically the question of what will change in how we work and live in the world of AI.
Yes. So the way I'm thinking about it is these huge infrastructure, huge platforms, the large language models that are getting the billions of dollars of funding are going to be kind of a platform layer on which we're going to look at as platform as a service, essentially, and build on top of that. We've seen the platform as a service model already for at least a couple of decades, if not more. So we understand the platform as a service layer on how to work with it. And I think these very heavily funded, very large infrastructure layer is going to operate in that mode, the PaaS mode. So when you look at the application layer, what I'm hearing from most people is the dominance of vertical AI as the area of interest in terms of startups and investment. Is that where you are looking as well?
Yeah. First of all, the answer is absolutely, totally. This is our key focus area. I think the big question to ask and try to answer is it's a big name for a lot of different applications and a lot of different verticals by definition. And I think there's some verticals that will be easier to penetrate and some will be way harder. And verticals are so different from one another. And in some odd way, I think the huge verticals are the most complicated ones and probably the ones where the prizes will become much later in the game. So yeah, we're looking at where is disruption going to happen and what are those some of the applications. We already funded some applications, but it's you need to look at it and analyze it from each vertical on its own.
So which ones do you categorize as the ones that are going to be the harder to deal with?
I think the big question, or the way we see it, is there are areas in the world that technology has disrupted and yet not disrupted at all, right? Healthcare on one hand, of course, our life changed completely, but then there's some things that are exactly the same, right? Uh, and in some other tough areas, look at construction or look at airlines or travel, not the like the flight itself. So many changes, yet the flight from London to New York is exactly the same of what it was 50 years ago. Literally exactly the same. I mean, probably business class is a little bit nicer, but it's basically exactly the same, right? So the big question is what kind of areas or verticals, aerospace, travel, healthcare, are going to be, can you really change fundamentally some of the physics of those operations, and can AI make a huge difference? And I think the way to figure that out is just going to take a long time, and the changes will just take 10, 15 years to come, versus, by the way, media creation, which we're here today.
Yeah. So the healthcare is obviously the biggest prize for AI. It is the biggest potential. It's the most, in my opinion, it's the most important vertical where AI can have an enormous positive impact. But it is also one where hallucination cannot be tolerated. Hallucination can be tolerated in media creation. It cannot be tolerated in healthcare.
So, first of all, of course, you're right. I will say that right now our AI expectations are way above what AI can deliver. And although you're right, meaning we're willing to suffer hallucinations in some areas because the damage is not there, I think from a user perspective, our expectation is that AI can do at this level, and AI is not. There's a gap there in what it can do. Specifically on healthcare, I think there are things that we will see very soon, especially on research side, and some things that are not that are kind of more in the backside of it. But I think from diagnosis, or we're interacting with people, I think that's going to take a lot of time before we can talk to an AI doctor.
But on that though, if the gating item is hallucination, there are several gating items in healthcare. I'm not saying that there are, I will get to the multiple gating items, but if one of the gating items is hallucination, that can be controlled with small language models. You don't have to use these unwieldy large language models and that lose on healthcare. Instead, if you control the language models, you can control hallucination.
Yeah, but you get the same quality out of it. Quality of expectation. I mean, again, going to the expectation of if it's a user, or do you get the same value out of it of what people want?
Well,
Right.
I think there are other gating items there that may not get us to where we want to get to, which is the entrenched, systems that need to be upgraded somehow. They're not necessarily, these are old architecture systems. And in America, for instance, Epic dominates. And that product was developed a long time ago on a very, very old architecture. And so for that to catch up to where we are right now in terms of AI potential and all that, that is that is definitely a gating item. But if we come to the ones that are lower hanging fruits, so this is where I think it would be interesting for us to hear what you have invested in, where you don't think the prize is so far out, we can start seeing real value, real impact now. What are some of the companies that you've invested in and why?
Yeah, sure. So I can give two or three companies that I really like and are very relevant. One early stage company actually announced just today called Panjaya that does high quality dubbing for videos, right? Where basically you can take this video and suddenly we are all speaking fluent French in our same voice with unbelievable lip sync, right? And that is done in a perfect way that not only gives the exact meaning of the words, but also does the same emotional, meaning when I say, this is amazing, it will capture that in French exactly the same way it was captured in English. AI does a phenomenal job in that. And we already, again, see the prizes. I will
So
say,
you can change the lip movement as well, the lip sync as well.
yeah, the lip sync. So it's the
That's
same
amazing.
voice,
That is fabulous.
lip moves, and suddenly you see it. You see a video of me like talk fluent Spanish. I don't know one single word, and it looks just like $1 million. But I will say that the expectations of users is very high. Meaning, even if there's one small miss, people like, this is not as good as we thought, right? So they think AI can do it at 100%, and probably we're more at 98, 95, 96 at this
But
point.
that's very far along though.
Yeah, it's very fine. And
It's
by the way,
very
the
far.
value is great, right? Because there's an example of a technology company in Silicon Valley. They use it for a CEO presentation to the entire global company. He speaks in all the languages of all his offices. It's authentic. It looks real. People finally understand exactly what he's saying. And although English is dominant for everybody in the industry, it's amazing how people still prefer to, or not amazing, to hear it in their own mother tongue.
And where is this company going to market? Is it in the corporate use cases? Where is it? What is the strategy?
Uh, so the strategy for them, I mean, they're launching on three verticals. So corporate is one of them, but actually it's media,
Media.
so they're working with TED, for example,
Mhm.
and the other one is education, right?
Okay, very
Which
cool.
I think education is a great vertical, right? Because again, I think the user really wants to get the essence of what is being said, and getting it in your own language is just reduces another barrier in the education process.
Well, and companies like Netflix and Amazon must be salivating at something like this, no?
Yeah, but I think for them, uh, it's it's right, but I think it's different. They have a different budget, different expectations. They're willing to have a much longer development cycle on what they're willing to do with dubbing, as opposed to a shorter video where your budget is lower, yet your quality expectations are still very high. But that's just one example. I want to say just one more. Can I take another example?
Of course, you can take one, two, three examples.
Yeah, so another one that we're investors in is a company called Taranis, which does a very simple thing, so very use of AI in the agriculture front, right? Where they capture satellite videos and videos across kind of the entire from satellites to airplanes to drones to everything, and they use all that and they put all the information that is captured from all the imaging and bring that together and analyze and can find basically certain problems or issues or information, data information about the field of agriculture, just based on this whole set of images, and AI does the whole thing, right? So it's a great way for AI to replace experts in agriculture as they try to understand better what's happening
And what
across,
can
of
they
course,
find
huge
from
fields.
these images? What kinds of, some examples of the kinds of actionable items they can find from this?
Yeah, so parts of it is I think it's around what's the word in English? Sorry, disease. I don't think it's disease. It's like
Disease.
uh,
Sure.
yeah, in plants, and kind of find early problems in these fields. It's also about different results, how different areas of the field react to certain weather and so on. And I think they're also looking at even energy usage and energy consumption and some other applications as well.
Interesting. Okay. You can actually, if you have more, you can do more. I'm very interested in seeing what is actually find traction in the customer base.
Sure. I mean, again, another one that I'm on the board of a company called Lightrix that is doing a lot of work in, again, in video, text to video side. Of course, text to video is very known because OpenAI released Sora, right? But what we want to think about is AI, is how can AI create not only a short clip, but a full 5-10 minute video, right? And I think the big challenge there, or the big, is how do you create fast, so get fast results from AI? So when you text and say, I want this story, how the result comes back not in an hour, but in seconds. And the second thing is that the quality of a 20-minute video and what you can do with it is at the same level of what would be a, almost a video shooting. Now, of course, on one hand, AI is not 100% there, so you can't create a 20-minute real like video, but we can create some commercials that have real characters and characters that change and a real story even in them. And this is I think the whole future of video creation, definitely at the low end side of the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And the internet is full of video, right? The engagement you get on video is so much higher than anything else. So 90-second, 30-second videos you can create like this, and it is enormously valuable. So I have a question this is a relatively new development, and you probably haven't invested in anything like this yet, but are you starting to see this in your deal flow? This is apropos the announcement that we just saw from Anthropic about agents. They are opening up their platform, the agent platform, where you can go in and start creating agents. And of course, Sam Altman made this comment that AI's holy grail is this all-knowing colleague who's going to be attached to you and know everything about your life and be assisting you in everything that you do. I don't believe in this, because I don't want to give all my data about all my life to some company like OpenAI or Anthropic. However, the architecture of agents being able to run software on their own and make these autonomous decisions gives us enormous potential to do next level of automation in enterprise applications and business applications and so on. So are you seeing this in your deal flow yet?
Yeah, first of all, of course, I think that holy grail. I'm not sure about a colleague that knows it all. Sounds kind of annoying to me. Also, just this colleague already sounds annoying. Yeah, but I think, look, agents by definition are a great target for replacement and can do certain things. We still have, let's look at our day-to-day life, insurance agent, travel agents, all these can be replaced, I think, by AI in a way that do it in the best way possible. I actually, they're agents can do a lot of things, not only in the sense of what they know, but also who they replace, right? And of course, you talk about the colleague that I have that knows it all. What about the AI representation of myself, right? And a year from now will be, or 2 or 5 years from now, you're not interviewing me because I'm busy. You'll interview the AI version of me, right? And will the AI version of me say exactly what I'm saying right now? Now, on one hand, we laugh about it, but I think the reality is that there are a lot of interesting applications and people talk about that, right? Where
What comes to my mind is the dating application. I think it's the CEO of Bumble who
she said that exactly.
You want your agent to interact with another, somebody who's matching with you and interview each other and then decide whether this is a match or not. Well, why not, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, of course, I don't know, for someone my age, that sounds odd, although it's interesting.
Extremely.
But I mean, it's a great question where you can say, look, maybe I want to ask President Biden, a whole bunch of questions that are really important for me, and I can't get an answer. And maybe the AI version of President Biden can actually answer some of these questions. Okay, and it's not that complicated, and it's actually quite interesting, right?
Well, I think if you bring it down, I think the capabilities are very interesting, extremely interesting. If you bring it down to areas where we can actually really apply things like that, where there will be immediate value and we can build a business around that. I think interviewing candidates, if you want to interview instead of 10 candidates, if you want to interview 1,000 candidates and filter that down to the 10 that are a good fit, that is a great application of this kind of technology, the kind of human representation technology that you're talking about. The other side of the coin is where the AI can run software and create additional levels of automation. It comes back to the same vertical AI kind of thought process, right? In vertical workflows, in vertical applications, having agent technology available to do additional levels of automation is immensely valuable.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing for a lot of people like us is I think the future is about every team and companies we know will include real people and not real people, right? And teams will have virtual team members and real team members, and they're just going to be part of the work process. I think still there are a lot of things that need to be figured out. And I think, again, the expectations from anything that is AI is much, much higher than anything that is not AI. So I think in some odd way, you're willing to forgive me about certain things I'm doing, even on this call right now, where of course this was an AI, you would be much more strict about how things are said or how things are being expressed and so on. But this is the future.
It is the future, most certainly. Now, is there a company that you can fantasize about that you would like to invest in? And now I'm switching to ideas that you haven't yet seen implemented or haven't yet crossed your deal flow path. What would you like to invest in AI?
Well, I think that's a great question. I I think there are a lot of companies in these categories, but I'm of course fascinated, like many people, about the social impact of AI and the whole thing about virtual friends and virtual companions and all that part. I think for me is fascinating, and and I think how that future will lay out and how people will socialize with virtual friends, like that movie, right, that we all talk about. I think still for me is the one
Yes.
area which I would love to see
Bloody
how this will play
scary
out.
idea.
Yeah, I know, but it's scary and not scary, right? Um, it's scary. Maybe for us it's scary, but maybe in 50 years it's just going to be
Well,
just simple reality.
it depends. It depends on how you play it. I think if you expand your line of thought, I think there is a very interesting use case there that is not scary, not damaging. It's in the domain of mental health, right? Loneliness has been a tremendous mental health problem uh, around the world. And if you can mitigate that with meaningful companionship that can add, you know, valuable input into the emotional process, that could be a very interesting application of that kind of AI.
Yeah, I totally agree. And my wife is a psychologist, and she always said, well, on one hand, people need human touch. They need to sit in a room and talk to real people, and I think that's true, and that will never go away. By the way, never. But for a lot of people, that the solution of a virtual therapist maybe is not the best solution, but it's a great solution, and I think we'll see much more of that in the market.
I think it could be a fabulous solution, actually. Virtual therapist could be a fabulous solution. If it's well designed, it could be a fabulous solution. The part that is very worrisome Have you read Yuval Noah Harari's most recent book, Nexus?
Um, uh, I have not yet. I should.
You should. He talks about some things that are, I'll give you one example from his book, which I happen to agree with. I happen to agree with a lot of what he's saying. So it was really very high resonance book for me. He's talking about how religion, for example, is a very big influencer in society, right? Religion drives a lot of action, a lot of group behavior, et cetera, a lot of the narratives. Now, if you give an AI has this kind of power of creating real intimacy at a highly personalized level, if religion if new religions are created by AI and then propagated with this highly personalized intimacy with large masses of people, it's an enormously powerful use case of AI. And that can be good. It can also be absolutely devastating.
Uh, yeah, it can be devastating. Now I need to think a lot about it. I'm going to read the book for
You will
sure.
have to think about it. This is a big topic actually. But I do recommend the book to all of you. If you haven't read Harari's Nexus, it is a very interesting book, and it's really goes into where the pitfalls of AI could come up, and it is something that we all need to understand because of where we're going. Well, fantastic conversation, Danny. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like to discuss?
No, I think this is good. Now I come out with things to think about, or book to read, and I'm very excited about what the future lies ahead. And by the way, I want to say I'm optimistic. I still think that
Me too.
overall
I'm optimistic
we are
as well.
scared of technology, but at the end, I think humanity has done well with a lot of technologies, and I think this will be the
The
case
one
as
that
well.
I'm most optimistic about is actually healthcare. I think in healthcare, if we can manage the AI applications well, it can completely change the game. You know, everybody, 10 billion people can access healthcare, high quality healthcare, robotic surgery, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this is for humanity, this could be an enormous way forward.
Yeah.
The
I want to say, Shawana, now I want you to invite me again to number, I don't know, 850, and we'll see what has changed in AI and what stayed the same so we can reflect on this conversation.
We will, I was, everybody who's been here on this series, we started doing the series, I think, what, August, September. So we've done, no, actually earlier. Um, we've done a lot of these discussions, but everybody needs to come back every, 4 to 6 months. Everybody needs to come back because so much is changing so quickly. We need
Yes.
to exchange notes in due course. Well, thank you for coming, Danny. We'll be in touch, and we will definitely have you over again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone.
Folks, we're going to switch to the entrepreneur pitches and the mentoring session. I know Danny has to hop off. Please, for all of you who are pitching today or in an upcoming session, please know that this is a safe working session. We will work together on your problems and try to come up with solutions. The intent is just to help you address your roadblocks and your issues. There's no other agenda here. If you disagree with me, that's okay. It's your venture. You do what you want. Varun Taneja, please unmute your line and get going.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, before going through, I will just take you through one or two slides from the presentation. Maybe uh, I uh, I will give you a quick context on like what do I do, or where did I start, and why how I actually ended up in social media as a profession. So, social media is at the core of it on whatever I do, right? I found my passion in my last semester of my college. I never sat for any placements in the college, and I figured that I'm good with creative short one liners, and good with engage connecting with people online especially. So I thought, I have to be on the other side. I have to be the person who is strategizing and engaging the audience and not just my friends on Facebook. So that is where it started. And for me, 14 years back or roughly 13 years back, you can say social media was still one word for me. It was shareability, right? If I'm creating a piece of content and if it is organically shareable, then I end up building communities. You know what I mean? So building communities is my passion. Then influencer marketing has been 85-90% of the revenues have been through influencer marketing in the past 6 years for us. Um, Now, I mean, we do manage a few social media accounts on a retainer basis as well, but I kind of never, went very heavy in that direction because I rather went in a direction. So when I started my own setup, there were a few communities which I curated. First one was called One Song, another one was called One Dance, right? This was after I worked for 6 years with companies like Times of India. And at Times of India, for example, you must have heard a few names like Huffington Post, Business Insider. So I was the one which was, I mean, I was behind. I was talking to 7 different editors at one particular point of time, and trying to bring organic shareability and subsequent traffic, which was obviously they wanted traffic out of my efforts. And then I was able to do that without, I would say, without any budgets. Any budgets is in no marketing budgets were allotted. It was a small unit. It's now called Times Bridge. It was earlier called Times Global Partners, right? Where they were basically uh, partnered with Times Internet to introduce their publisher properties here in India. So they saw Times Internet as their valid partner and all. So long story short, I did well there. Managed to uh, you know use the right kind of graphical content, which was like you said, which was shaping towards videos, right? And to do that with minimal or no budgets was a challenge, but somehow it did well there. Then I figured, if I'm doing well with building communities, why not build a community of my own and then connect with artists? So that is where One Song and One Dance came in, which eventually became One Media as the company, which is the parent company now. So One Song, we were connecting with a lot of independent artists, and One Dance, we were again connecting with a lot of independent dancers. I was good with artist conversations, and obviously the artist management part comes along with good conversations where you are thinking about the other person as well, and their growth as well, and not just thinking about matching your salary right from the first one. Then when you start your own setup, right? So there's a difference. So all that went well. I managed to build good connections with these artists. More importantly, I was a consultant or like a doctor to them. I was helping them from a micro influencer level to a macro influencer level through good organic content strategies and discussions, and what should you do, what should you post next. So helping them in that ways. A couple of good clients noticed that, I mean, potential clients, that this guy is connected to the influencers in the right way. He cares for them and he knows what the right audience, what person is carrying what kind of an organic audience and not a fake follower count with them, right? So which was again a big problem for brands. So all that happened well, and did we got good revenues in the first couple of, especially from the second or third year. We were doing very well. Now, how did the animation company come into the picture? I will straight away jump to the animation company. Whatever revenues we were earning through influencer marketing with all these brands through One Song, One Dance, or whatever influencers I was connected with, I reinvested. I kind of intuitively reinvested into the animation company. Now the 90% of revenues of One Media are through the animation company. Under the animation company, again, I applied the same principle of organic shareability, but this time around we have to create original content, right? And animation is something like you, at least 5 days for one short video is what the timeline looks like. So I mean, anyways, why I started was I kind of noticed this big vacuum out there, especially in India and in some other parts of the world as well, for sure. The animation series or movies or even Instagram accounts I could see out there, they were all positioned towards kids, right? So, for example, if you have ever heard about Chota Bheem as an IP in India,
Yeah.
right? And Akbar Birbal, Mota Patlu. I mean, all these were kids animation.
Mm-hmm.
My strength was social media. I aligned it with Gen Z, obviously Gen Z 18 to 24, 18 to 30 is the maximum. Like that's the 70% audience for any community out there. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought, why not build a narrative, or why not build animated influencers of my own? There was not much involvement of AI back then. Now we are improvising and reducing our production costs with some AI capabilities as well. But so now I actually want to show you what an animated influencer looks like for me, or how it is, yeah, how we are working out our business out here. So can I share a link on this chat, and if you, I don't know if you can open it and have a look.
If you could just talk through, that would be better, I think.
Okay, okay.
What are
So an
the
anime.
slides? So you have some
Sorry.
shots in the slides, right?
Right. So even if you look at this particular slide, the first slide only, the rightmost shot that you see on this screen, the guy holding the Maggie, right, a packet of Maggie noodles. So this video, in fact, got things started for us. About close to 500 brands commented on this video. We actually put out a smart message out there, saying that whichsoever brands comment on this video, we will make an animated short video for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of helps them, promotes them and all. So, I mean, I would say 3 months or 4 months of revenue got sorted because of this just one video. This got a reach of around 1 million plus people shared it. So 1 million people sharing a video, and 72 million organic views was
That's
huge.
huge. Yeah.
Uh, and that too with a brand placement somewhere smartly done.
So
Certain
this was
in a
Maggie
certain.
was paying for this?
Sorry.
Maggie was paying for this?
So this particular video was not paid. This was a, like I said, this was a smart strategy to put a thought in the minds of brands that okay, animated influencer marketing is a thing, or you can use a character like a protagonist, which we have made popular. You can use that character and the family of that character to as a brand advocacy for your
Yeah.
product.
Product
So
placement.
yeah, product placement, and it did well. I mean, we are not posting random animated videos created through AI tools. We are, it's all hand-drawn animation. We are obviously, like I said, reducing the production costs as we go. But yeah, I mean, so till now we have around 50 animation IPs. Not all of them are mine, but I was able to invest into 10 IPs. So 10 IPs we own, and we very smartly are building those IPs. For example, there is one IP called One Song Magazine. Like I said, One Song was the initial this thing. I did not think twice to change it into an animated music shorts IP. So we have clients like Saregama and Sony Music. Now we are talking to Universal also. They are our retainer clients. So promoting a piece of music, or the 18-20 seconds of hook part that you call of a music is is beautifully working for these brands who started with one campaign a month, and now they are like giving us about close to 7-8 campaigns per client. So that's like 14 campaigns running from two clients. So music marketing is working wonderfully well. Brand marketing is working very well. First mover advantage has given us that more than a hope, I would say, to further expand. So animated influencer marketing, as you have already understood, that is our first solution. Second
Okay.
solution is, I tell brands that we can build mascots for you. So if we can build a mascot for our own self and popularize it, and
Do it for you too.
knowing
Yes, of course.
knowing a particular how does a brand function is how I spent my last 13 years. So taking care of your brand language and ethics and everything, I can build a mascot for you like an Amul Butterly girl. Why to spend millions of dollars on hiring celebrities who you cannot control? I mean, they can go to a party and do a random thing. So things like those. And we have managed to build mascots also out here in India, for a few brands. And the next steps are much beyond, I would say, Instagram reels, or it's this whole plays all how to build IPs for our own selves, monetize them through, let's say, in a longer term plan, through web series, through the OTT play. If you have heard about South Park by any chance, based out of US. So South Park is our motivation. I mean, they have done like deals, and we know their animation is not top class. They are doing a great job through their storytelling, but it's mostly about the concept. So that is where I'm more confident that, okay, concept wise or in the pre-production phase is where we win most of the games with the brands and the audience, right? So and then it's like, even if we do a decent enough job with animation, our created content has a different kind of a recipe. So
Mm-hmm.
things are going well, I would say. Solutions wise, obviously you have to diversify the different segments and come up with a longer term plan. So animated influencer marketing is working out really well. Out of those 50 IPs, 10 IPs are our own, and naturally we have a far more better profit percentage with our own IPs. But it's all growing as a family. We have worked with Amazon in the past couple of months, where we worked with a lot of brands, but Amazon I'm mentioning because they wanted us to create animated videos for their gift card segment. So if you go on Amazon and you type gift cards, e-gift card in India, it will show you our created work, like an Amazon A plus content created by us, right? So like for the happy birthday, happy anniversary, this and that. So this was, I'm mentioning Amazon because this was an incoming query, because our reels were going viral. Somebody reached out from Amazon directly, uh,
Mm-hmm.
just through a DM. The brand head of Amazon or Zomato or Pepsi reaches out, and it is a much easier conversation, because more than half of the job is done. It's not like going to their office and pitching them and explaining them. So that is the beauty of it.
Inbound always better than outbound.
Yeah, so animated influencer marketing is one. Then to expand, I would say in India we have reached a particular mark, but global expansion is definitely on the cards. We have received multiple queries from Singapore and Dubai also quite recently, and we have worked with. I mean, yeah, so that those conversations are on. So being the if I tell you my vision, I mean it would be to become the uh, Gen Z animation entertainment company of the world, through these, animated influencer IPs, through, let's say, creating Instagram content for brands. So if you remove the influencer, you can eliminate the influencer, but the content still stays the same. So on a retainer basis,
Well,
brands
it's
are
a very cutting edge modern advertising agency of a very particular kind is what you're building.
Right. So yeah, I mean, so I was discussing with my mentor, who happens to be my uncle, and he's a bit senior to me, so I kind of listen and chit chat and all. So his analysis is on point. So he's like, rather than focusing on animated influencers, which obviously takes time to develop and all that, along with that, you should, and I kind of agree with him. Along with that, we are now focusing on, let's say, in one line, if I tell you, focusing on creating 100 animated videos for brands across the world in a month. So if you multiply 100 by, let's say, I don't know, $500 or $1,000 or whatever, right? I mean, so $1,000 or $1,500 is the usual price for an animated short that we produce, and it varies country to country, right? So then we are talking multiplication of that revenue, and you never know. We have not explored outside India as much, right? So and the production costs which we have in India would be much lesser than any other country. So we have a big advantage that ways, in terms of the initial artists that we have.
How many people do you have on the team?
We have close to 18 of us right now. Seven to eight of them are animators. Three of them are content strategists. Then I am there to take care of everything social media. Rest of them are mostly client servicing. So 18 of us are there.
And they are all in Delhi?
No, spaced out. Our expansion, or let's say hiring, rather would be a better word, happened mostly during the COVID times. So somebody, I mean, at least five of them are Kolkata based. So huge respect to Kolkata for artists because there are great artists out there.
Yes,
So
actually, that is Kolkata's big strength.
yeah,
This what you are
so
doing is Kolkata's big strength.
then there are Bangalore artists as well. They happen to create. Okay, I mean, sometimes they create cooler content or they understand Delhi, Bombay better or whatever. So we have, spaced out team. Me and a couple of more core team members who are growing the business. We have taken a co-working space in here in Delhi, Connaught Place,
Yes.
and we sit out of there and we go there like thrice a week or
Excellent.
something.
Varun, what brings you here? First and foremost, how did you find out about 1M by 1M?
On LinkedIn, I was just scrolling, and I have started to scroll more during the night hours out here in India because of the global expansion plans that I have. So I feel I'm lucky that I saw your post, and yeah, and I mean, see, I have spoken to a couple of investors. There's not much of a hurry that I am in to find investors, and to raise money and all because we are profitable and we are with more efforts that we are putting we are going in the right direction, but I just feel that with the right partner, I feel, especially talking to you, the global expansion part might happen quicker,
Yeah.
right?
And I think what you need to do is create a strategy that if your intention is to go global and b build a much larger business, then we need to create a strategy that can scale. So that scalability will happen on multiple dimensions, and that is strategy that we can definitely help you create as well as fund on
Right.
top of
So,
that.
so with the last meeting that I had with this prospective investor, I mean, somebody introduced me to him at a social gathering. So I was like, okay, let's meet. So he was like, so he asked me for a milestone benchmark, this thing, in terms of like, okay, if you are investing, what are the milestones that you are going to achieve? So I prepared, I took 3, 4 days and I prepared a 2 year kind of a strategy, milestone strategy.
Mhm.
And so I mean I can perhaps if required, if if all goes well, then I can share that with you as well. I was able to think till 2 years, but then there are bigger plans, like you can go into merchandise, so everything is connected. You build IPs and you popularize them, and you have your own advertising engine because or your their own IPs with own traffic and traffic in millions, which will keep growing hopefully. And then you can release games for those IPs, you can release merchandise for those IPs, so I mean, yeah, but we are taking it step by step. We are generating good revenues through brands, through some of the government campaigns, not many. We have worked with UNICEF also, we have worked with Bill Gates Foundation. So yeah, I mean, and then like I said, we have promoted songs also. So it's like a
You've done
360.
a lot of things, and it's very interesting, a lot of different things that you've done. But if you want to scale something, you have to select which ones are the most scalable, most profitable businesses, and then build a strategy around that. And you have to, so to have a fundable company, you need to go from 0 to 100 million in 5 to 7 years. You're already beyond zero, but wherever you are, you need to show a very high velocity trajectory, and that strategy that we can definitely help you create as well as build momentum on top of that. So
Got
if
it.
you hang on, let me listen to Megan, and then I will
Sure.
explain how to use 1M by 1M for what you're
Sure.
trying to do, and we
Thank you.
will. Sure. Megan, you can unmute your line. I'll go to your slides in just a moment.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Just increase your
Don't laugh at my
volume a little bit.
slides.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I did was I started a missing dog service because when somebody loses their dog, there's so many places, like there's so many adoption websites, there's so many lost and found websites, there's so many lost and found pet groups. Like if you were to go into Facebook and type in lost and found pets of any county in the United States, pick one. Uh, any town, any city, any state, every few minutes people are posting a missing dog or a found dog, back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you want me to
Maybe I'll
explain?
stop. Keep going, keep going. We're listening. We're all nodding.
Okay.
We're all agreeing with you that
Okay.
dogs get lost. Yes.
Okay. So what I did, so when a missing dog owner reaches out to me via form, fill out a form on my website, um, I'll contact them and, I'll they'll, go over the whole situation. And sometimes it requires a little bit more investigation, but usually, we'll get the details. I am the we in my business. So when I say we, I'm just me for now. But so we go over the details, and then what we do is we do a location. Um, I just got nervous. Sorry. We pinpoint the location, and we do hashtag research, and collect all the hashtags like cities, towns, main highways, anything and everything in and surrounding the missing target location. And then we go inside Facebook and we put those into Facebook search, different hashtags, keywords, or whatever, and mix them all up and see if we can pull anything up. If we don't, then we join all the lost and found pet groups in that area and surrounding that area. And
Okay, so you basically are operating as a service provider, lost and found, online, where people can call you when they or contact you if they've lost their dog, and you do all the legwork to
oh
use
yeah,
social media to find the dog.
yes. And my plan is I'm working with Microsoft Startup Founders Hub, and I'm just having trouble building the software myself. But they helped me get the architecture and everything straightened out to where I can have AI and cloud do it. All right, let me tell you. So whenever I'll try to make it quick. Um so if we so whenever I join the lost and found pit groups, I'll search that. This is manually. I'll search it all the way back to the missing day. If there's nothing in them groups, then I'll create a missing video, which I use their photos and videos that they send. I'll also ask them if there's something that they could tell their baby right now, what would it be? And then I always add that at the end of the video and then a song.
So Megan,
Mm-hmm.
what software do you need to do? It sounds like it's all a very manual activity. Is there what software are you thinking about doing?
Okay. So I am I got it all right here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have websites and sensors. Our website, hosted on Microsoft Azure cloud platform, stores images and information about the missing dogs. And we also use sensors to gather data to help locate the missing pets. We use an automated process. When a missing dog owner fills out the form on the website, the automated process is triggered. This process collects all the data. Oh Lord.
So Megan, I'm
Mhm.
listening to you, and there are some ideas that are coming to me that I want to share with you that you should go explore.
Okay.
Did you listen to the conversation I had earlier with Danny Cohen?
I sure did. I was on
Yes.
the edge of my seat.
So we were talking about agents technology, right?
Yes. I've learned a lot about that.
What you were talking about is something that is actually amenable to agent technology. And if you can frame go do some research on AI agents.
Yes, I have.
It sounds like you're not technical, right?
No.
You're not technical. So you can
Yes.
go on Upwork and find somebody technical who can help you with AI agent technology. And you're going to need to build something that can automate a lot of the procedure of all these things you're talking about, hashtag research and so on and so forth, and then posting where it needs to be posted and doing this workflow.
Yeah.
At the moment, you're not a fundable company. Where you are right now, what you are showing at the moment, it's not a fundable company. You have to create more of a business with the technology angle to become fundable. But the problem that you are outlining, the problem that you're highlighting is a very interesting problem. So if you can create a software solution to it that can be scalable and that can do the kind of thing that you're talking about doing, and this can become a fundable business potential.
Yes.
So at the moment, this is not fundable. So if you've come here to look for funding, you will need, I can work with you. You can join the program. We can work with you and help you become fundable. But as it stands, you're not yet fundable. You're not
Yes.
yet funding.
The Microsoft support team, they helped me build my workflow and my architecture. It's all framed up. We got the analytics, the Azure bot service. We got the AI driven content, I can't say the word, services, the Azure AI content moderator, the API management. They got the notifications hub, the signal service, something service, the Azure app service, the Azure maps, the workflow, data collection, form submission, real-time processing, AI-driven creation,
So
AI-driven
you have
advertising.
built a piece of software that that Microsoft has built for you?
I told them what I was doing, and they told me what I needed.
What
And I
you
have all
need, not what you haven't built it. They've told you what you need.
Yeah, they gave me all the free tools to build it, but I don't know how to build it. And I do know that
Sorry, you have dropped off?
that's the only way I'm going to be able to. I want it to be its full potential, and I know that it's got to have my software because it's too much on me. I already got like 5 ladies, and boy, it is tough. But I have found some dogs, and I have made some money. They pay me for my first ladies or whatever my clients I've done for free.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, I understand, but so I will explain how to use 1 million by 1 million next. Why don't you listen and then you can ask questions about working with us. And if you decide to work with us, we will help you.
Okay.
So everything, folks, is at 1Mby1M.com. This is a completely virtual program. We can work with you from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, we can work with you. Most of you who are actually both of you who have talked today are going to need to be in the premium program to be able to use the features of the program that you need. You're going to need strategy work first and foremost. And strategy work is interactive, right? Like this. We have this kind of sessions. You can come to sessions like this every week and talk to me. And I will give you input. You're going to need to process that input and we kind of iterate and move forward. So that's the strategy part of it. Investor introductions is part of the premium program as well. But as I said, you have to be ready for that. We will get you ready, but you have to be ready before we can send you to investors. Otherwise, I can send you to 30 investors in 30 minutes. If all 30 reject you, there's no point, right? So that's why it's really important that we get you ready for and become fundable before we send you there. The curriculum that we have is many thousand hours, and it's a very powerful curriculum full of case studies. You can learn from people who have done things before, and we will have you use the curriculum extensively as you are developing your strategy, different aspects of your business and so forth. And we've been using this curriculum for 15 years. So it's a very mature curriculum that has been used by numerous entrepreneurs. And then, Varun, you would appreciate this probably. We also do influencer marketing because our sweet spot is B2B. We are very big on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is not a platform where you have 20 million followers. It's a platform where you have, very targeted followers. I have about 440,000 followers thereabouts. But on LinkedIn, that's very big because LinkedIn named me as one of their top 10 influencers. And that list was number 1, Bill Gates, number 2, Richard Branson, and I was number 10.
That's like 40 million. That's like 40 million.
It's very valuable. Anyway, so premium is probably what you need to join. Some of you in the room, not the ones who pitch, some of you in the room may actually be okay with starting with 1M by 1M Basic, which is the curriculum only version. I know many of you registered just to attend, and I know there's a lot of people who are coming to us who are doing what we call bootstrapping with a paycheck. And we are completely okay supporting your bootstrapping with a paycheck journey. But you do need to learn. And 1M by 1M Basic is a very good place to start your learning journey. So go to the website, look at what to expect from premium, what to expect from basic. Some of you are obsessed about privacy and confidentiality, and you come to us and ask for one-on-one consulting. Okay, one-on-one consulting is also available. It is, however, a lot more expensive. So up to you. If you decide to go that route, that's fine too. We have 4 more roundtables, free roundtables like this left this year. 1 more in November, after which it is Thanksgiving in America. So the Thanksgiving weekend, we're not doing a roundtable. And then 3 more in December before the holidays. The month of January, I'm actually going to be in India. We will have roundtables. I will be doing them from India. So if you're looking for a slot to present and talk, please register and Maureen will find you a slot. If you're looking for a question, for somebody to talk to about the program, Irina Patterson is your contact on our team, irina@1mby1m.com. You can ask her any questions that you would like. She will get on WhatsApp with you or phone or whatever. So we have time for more Q&A. Anybody more questions? Varun, Megan, anybody in the room? If you have questions, please let us know.
Yeah, I had a question. So, technology wise, I'm still learning and I keep consuming content on technology also, articles and all. But have you ever, have you come across the role of AI in creation of animated videos like the ones that we are creating, right?
Well, I haven't done it myself, but we have case studies of people who are building creative businesses using AI. So you are going to, I was going to, my advice to you would be to have to explore AI in your business. You will be able to really leverage AI. So in your business, I think it would be very valuable to
Right.
build AI into your workflow. That should be
So
fine.
that will reduce a lot of production costs for
It
us
will
and
reduce a lot of production cost, time, everything. It will, however, be expensive, right? So you have to,
right.
this is where strategy comes in. You have to make sure the cost structure aligns well and is built into your pricing and so forth so that you can, but today you're doing it manually. So, if you're replacing manual by technology, it's not like manual is free. So
Yeah.
I think your pricing may be able to absorb all that and that should be fine. So we'll figure that out.
Got it. Got it. And do you think companies outside India, like where you are right now, are looking to invest in Indian companies, which are media and content Indian companies? Like,
Sure. We work with lots of investors in the India-US corridor. We are very well connected in that corridor. This would be no problem to fund. Once we have a strategy and a funding pitch fully worked out, because you are a bit all over the place. You're like a kid in a candy store. There are a lot of things that are working out. So you want to do this, that, and other things. Venture capital works in a highly repeatable fashion. If you want to work on a company that is going to scale, you're going to have to go from zero to $100 million in 5 to 7 years. That means you have to triple every year for the first 2 years, double every year after that. That's a very, very high velocity growth. To get there, you have to create something really cookie cutter, highly repeatable, something that can achieve velocity. And we'll work with you on that. And then we will
I've
take it to
already
investors.
got it. I've already gone through 1 million, 1M by 1M premium yesterday night because I was intrigued and I'm going to go for it for sure by tomorrow. And
Fantastic.
then, yeah, I mean, that should tell you that, how impressed I am with your conversation already and everybody
And
here
I'm
is.
very impressed with you too. I think you have real skills and real differentiated expertise. We will package this up. I think you can build a phenomenal company.
So,
Phenomenal.
I mean, the journey, I mean, just last few notes started off when I saw BuzzFeed, BuzzFeed animation,
Of
but
course.
they have a few properties out there in Instagram which are working out
Yeah.
well for them. So, that was a good starting point. But even, the differentiator again is that even they have not introduced family or human characters, or they are working on objects and tiny bits pieces and all.
No,
So I mean,
I love the idea of creating brand mascots and narratives around brands and creating series. I mean, today, I've been in content marketing for a long time. I understand content marketing really well in B2B, but I understand content marketing in general.
right.
So today, a brand is content, right? So
Mhm.
whatever consumer brand you want to do this with, if you can create this huge narrative and product placements within that suite of narratives, I think you have a phenomenally interesting brand advertising company here, animated
Cool.
brand advertising company. So I think we should be able to build something very, very interesting here.
We'll do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Anybody else? Yeah, I have a lot of hands up. Maureen, could you please put Pramin and Manoj Taneja on the panel list so I can talk to them? Pramin? Pramin, unmute your line. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Samana. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Where are you, Pramin? Where are you dialing from?
Currently, I'm in Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a short note of myself. I'm a co-founder of BotGauge. We are into B2B space. So we are building an AI agent for testing and support.
Okay.
So it's like we are making sure a non-technical person will be able to become an automation engineer in 30 minutes of time. And
Okay.
additionally, we'll be able to empower the support and sales team with the test assets we create on board with the AI agent. So we are trying to club three departments into remove them from the silos. That's the main goal. And
That's not a good goal. That's not a good goal. I think there would be better go-to-market strategies than trying to merge silos and taking silos out and so forth. So I want to understand what your technology is, and I will advise you on the go-to-market strategy. Please don't go around telling people that you want to merge silos and all that.
got
It's
it, got it,
very
got it.
hard to do, and you're going to run into lots of resistance from the organizational politics, and you don't want that.
Yeah. So merge into silos, I don't mean the department. I mean empowering them the latest knowledge. So the knowledge silos within each department get integrated into one. So
Okay,
that's what I mean
maybe.
by that. Yeah.
Maybe let me understand what your technology does and what your product does, and I will advise you on the
Yeah.
go-to-market
Yeah. Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah. So sorry for my quick
No problem.
introduction.
No problem. No
So
problem.
my
We
question is
need to
like,
find the right positioning, the right way to tell your story.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So my question is like, I have made the headquarters in Delaware, US,
mhm.
and I have a hard commit from a micro VC of 100K. I'm planning to raise 1 million, and currently I'm looking to raise from US itself.
Okay.
So how you I already saw like how you can help us once we are ready. You'll be able to give it warm introduction to the uh, investment community. So, but from your
Take
perspective,
your 100K, take your 100K as a convertible note, a say for a convertible
yeah, yeah,
note.
yeah, safe,
Don't
yeah,
price the round, and then
okay,
join 1 million by 1 million. I will advise you extensively, and
got
then we'll get you ready and get you into the funding cycle.
got it, got it. So one question I have, like, like in the group sessions, like how will we able to understand who is ready, who is not ready? I'm just a little confused after
So
reading
I
the.
work with everybody. See, you saw me working with Varun, right?
Got it,
You
got
saw
it.
me work with Megan. It's the
Yeah,
same format in the private roundtables. Every week,
okay,
the ones who want to talk to me will come on the session. We will have these conversations. We will identify the action items. You will go do your action items. We will iterate, and then we'll communicate by email and these roundtable sessions. They're private roundtables every week almost.
got it. So is there in-person meetings too? Like
There are no
which?
in-person meetings.
Okay, only online, right? And when
Yeah,
it comes
it's all
to
entirely virtual. The whole program is virtual.
okay, And you already mentioned that I saw like you have a lot of followers in LinkedIn and your sweet spot is B2B. So how that influential marketing happen, because we are in B2B space.
Yes.
So how does that happen? Like, could you shed
Influencer
some light?
marketing means basically if I post something about you, that is going to carry a lot more weight and will find a lot faster propagation and not just faster propagation or extensive propagation, it's also the weight of that propagation. When you're marketing something, social proof is really important.
Got it.
So I will help you using my influence on LinkedIn is to get that social proof and get the word out, and we'll work that into your go-to-market strategy.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So I just want to highlight the traction here. Like in 90 days of product launch, we are able to get 7 customer, 2 enterprise out of that, and around 23K ARR. So I hope that's a good
Fantastic.
start for us. Yeah.
Very good start. Fantastic. Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, Saman. So I'll register for your program and we'll meet you soon.
Please do. We'll get started. Manoj Taneja, please unmute your line. If you want, you can turn on your video as well.
Yeah, hi. Hi,
Hi, Manoj.
So, I just wanted to know a couple of things like, do you really work with SaaS segment as well? And also, do you work with pre-revenue companies? We are about to launch our product right now. Maybe in next couple of weeks, we will be just launching the product and start doing our campaigning. So just wanted to know what is your take on like for a pre-revenue company, can we also join you?
Yes, I prefer actually you join as quickly as possible so that you can follow the methodology. You know,
Okay.
we have a methodology that is a, proven methodology. So,
Okay.
so no problem with pre-revenue. It's perfectly fine. SaaS has been our biggest segment. So our B2B SaaS practice is the biggest practice. You
Okay.
may have seen that we Fresh Desk today, Freshworks was incubated in 1Mby1M. So that was one of the first SaaS companies that really made it big in the industry. That Girish Matrabhutam was in the program for 3 years.
Excellent.
So we have very deep knowledge and experience of SaaS and AI actually. So no problem. Where are you, Manoj?
I'm from Noida, Delhi NCR.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Please
yeah, probably
join
in
and we'll get
our
started.
table, I will introduce a little more about me and the product, and will be able to showcase few of the other things as well. So in this one, actually, just wanted to take a note from this table, like how like people are like proposing. You know, this is I'm just beginning at this basically at this phase to raise the money and all. Yeah. So, but yes, we'll talk more about our product in next session.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else? Neeraj Jivnani, thank you for hosting this, Ramaya. Neeraj, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. I learn a lot from all of you as well. So every session we do, I am growing in my job of being able to work with entrepreneurs. So thank you for participating. Thank you for bringing your ideas and sharing your issues. So together as a community, as an ecosystem, we become stronger this way. All right, I will see you soon next week. We do not have a free public roundtable actually, or a private roundtable. Maureen is traveling, but after that we have until the end of until the holidays, we have roundtables every week.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question if time permits.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. We4 are from India and Indian residents. So we have set up as I mentioned, we have set up the company in US, Delaware, has headquarters. So how easy or difficult is to raise money from the US investors? So
Well, there are investors in the India-US corridor. So those are the ones who are going to be investing in you. And there are many of those investors. We are connected with many of these investors. They know exactly how to move companies from starting in India to a global picture. So that would involve the fact that you've already set up the Delaware company is good. but they would involve some, your visa issues, all that. These investors tend to deal with all of that really well. They will advise you very well.
Okay. Okay.
They're very used to this phenomenon.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Me too, Varun. I'm really excited about your company. I think this can be a gigantic success. And I'm also excited about the fact that you're interested in hiring in Calcutta, because what you are doing is the big sweet spot of Calcutta, and Calcutta hasn't had any anchor success, in terms of startups or tech companies. Calcutta still hasn't had an anchor success. You could potentially be that anchor success.
I mean, just as a last note again, so turning artists into, that's a great conversation point. I mean, last note that turning artists into influencers, so which is huge. I mean, because especially in Kolkata artists and all, production houses are shutting down, and there is no leverage in animation. You know how it is, but because you have content plus the reach plus the momentum plus the brands, so brands
Different
will
kind
come.
of business.
So
It's a
brands
very
will come to
different kind of
you. I
business.
mean, as an artist, brands are coming to you. So what else do you need?
Yeah.
So yeah,
No,
let's
that's
see.
great. That's wonderful. I love what you're doing. I really love what you're doing. Okay. So if nobody has any other questions, I'm happy to take more questions. If not, we're going to adjourn and get on with our work for today. All right, folks, very nice to meet all of you. We'll keep working on stuff. And those of you who are joining the program, I look forward to working with you in private roundtables. Bye.
Bye.